That's it. Gambley's pulled the ball away. It's an emphatic 4 to finish the game.
Epic scenes greeted our defeat in the opening Test match of England's tour to India in 1993. Things were about to get a whole lot worse.
Graham Gooch, the England captain, will not play in this Test match.
Put my finger down my throat and I forced myself to be sick.
Using behind-the-scenes footage taken by one of our players, Dermot Reeve, we look back on a tour that will never be forgotten by those who were there.
I had the best view of the easiest catch that's ever been dropped.
It's an absolute dolly.
It was horribly embarrassing.
Do you get all that, Dermot? Just like that.
You won't see many better innings than this.
The greats like that, you can kind of tell that there's something very special there.
Oh, no.
Are they happy with what they produced?
If I see it and he pitches it anywhere near me, I'm going to whack it.
What a magnificent way to reach your first Test 100.
I was driving around popping wheelies on my new mountain bike in front of all the crowd.
Beautifully struck by Hick.
We all thought, we've got a chance in this game. I'm afraid not.
Incredible scenes here as India win the first Charms Cup Test match. And they do it in some style as well by 8 wickets.
We travel south for the second Test. Dressing room morale was still high.
Here we have Mr. Jarvis, and what have you got in your hand, Jar?
Smelling salts.
And here we have Mr. Salisbury asleep.
The shimmering heat of the Madras beach at midday. Just a stone's throw away at the Chidambaram Stadium, England's cricketers hard at work for what they know is a vital test.
It's tough to come back. Obviously, to win the series, you've got to win both. I mean, that's pretty obvious. We're in quite good spirits, though.
The bad news continued to come in waves.
The drama has already started here in Madras because Graham Gooch, the England captain, will not play in this Test match. He is ill. Graham Gooch is out. Alex Stewart will captain England.
It's the famous prawns incident, isn't it? The night before in the hotel where myself, Michael Gatting, there was a lot of players there. We tried the prawns. The next day, I just couldn't see straight. I remember going to the bathroom in my room. I remember looking in the mirror and I thought, I don't know, I'm going to do this. So I put my finger down my throat and I forced myself to be sick. I got to the ground and I said to Keith Fletcher, I'm battling here. I went and tried to run around and I just couldn't see straight.
Chicken out like kitty. Chicken out like kitty. That's a bit of garlic. Stuff the garlic butter.
He loves his food, this man.
I actually don't think it was the prawns. I think earlier in the trip, Graham Hick went down with a horrible virus, and I think that virus went throughout the team. It did affect me, I can tell you. I was struggling big time.
Right, well, this was a toss just a short while ago. Alex Stewart calling for the first time in a Test match, and I can tell you he's lost it. India have won the toss, and India will bat.
It was never my ambition to captain England. It was always my ambition to play for England, and I wasn't prepared to captain that game.
Now, tell me, when did you hear that you were going to be captain today?
About 20 minutes ago. Graham wasn't feeling so well. He was up all night and decided...
Charles Colville always reminds me at the toss I was looking less than immaculate, which obviously hurt me. You know me, I'd have had my full whites on, England blazer, combed my hair, everything. But no, it was very much white T-shirt, I think, jog bottoms. It was a rush job, but no, massively honoured.
Are you confident, O thing?
You have to be. Yes, no point going into a game otherwise. No, we're confident and we'll play well and hopefully better than we did in the first Test.
Captaining, opening and keeping wicket was too much even for Alec. So Richard Blakey prepared to fulfil a boyhood dream.
An hour before the scheduled start, I found out I was going to play. The heart started pounding, but it's what you've set out to do, you know. As a young player, you've dreamed of this moment, and suddenly it's there. And yeah, I can remember being so excited about it and just looking forward to the 5 days ahead.
Tuffers was recalled, even though he'd been reprimanded a few days earlier for his behaviour in a tour match.
We were playing against Sachin Tendulkar there, this legend of Indian cricket. Sachin Tendulkar has never, ever been stumped. And I lured him down the pitch with a beautifully flighted, spinning, dipping delivery, and he just missed it. And I've just thought, right, that's going to be fantastic. First time ever Sachin Tendulkar has ever been stumped, and poor old Dick dropped it. So that was a big disappointment for me, and I didn't react very well after that, I don't think.
Tuffers took the cap from the umpire. He kicked it all the way down to fine leg, having abused Blakey as well, which didn't go down particularly well.
Gucci said, right, Tuffers, you know what I mean? Come to the meeting room. You're in a bit of trouble here, boy. So I thought to myself, well, I don't really want to do that. So I think I'm going to hide. So I went round to my mate Robin Smith's room. We had a sort of crate of Kingfisher beers. And then Gucci was knocking on all the doors up and down the corridor going, where's Tufnell? Is Tufnell with him? I was going, no, I haven't seen him. And I was hiding in Robin Smith's cupboard. Yeah, got fined for it, and so I should have done.
Tuffers was out of pocket and out of luck in 41 wicketless overs as India racked up a huge total.
Oh, lovely stroke. No one will stop that. What a beautiful stroke.
I had a feeling in India that we were waiting more for him to make a mistake, perhaps bowling and hoping that we would get this great young player out, rather than truly believing it.
That's Tendulkar's first Test 100 in India.
I think even at those times, you could see the quality of the young man, that he was a different level.
I'll tell you what, you won't see many better innings than this. And that was just the most sublime way to go to 100 that anyone can imagine.
The greats like that, you can kind of tell that there's something very special there. When you're watching someone like that emerge, it's a gradual dawning that this is something special. And then when, 15 years later, the man's got an extraordinary number of runs, then you realise that that was one of the greats of all time.
That's over the top. And 4 more.
Come over for a chat. Come on, Sachin. Congratulations, fabulous innings. Oh, no! And you sleep well last night?
Very well.
Must have been a bit tired.
A bit tired.
So how many did you get in the end? 165?
Where were you at the hotel?
At the hotel?
Were you at the hotel?
Yeah. Yeah.
165.
Well done. Congratulations. Well played.
Mike Gatting has appeared after tea.
I think I got back towards the end of the day in order to drop that horribly simple catch that is still embarrassing. The most embarrassing thing I think I've ever happened to me on the cricket pitch.
Oh, that one. Oh, it's dropped. And that was an absolute dolly.
Poor old Solly, this one's just bounced and hit the shoulder of the bat and just literally lobbed up. And look, the only reason I dropped, I probably took my eye off it. I thought I'd caught it. It must have been either me dreaming or I was still half asleep or whatever, but it was horribly embarrassing.
And Salisbury's saying, I wish Mike Gatting in a stadium bed.
Yes, he might even have put it more strongly than that.
I had the best view of probably the easiest catch that's ever been dropped in Test match cricket. Do you laugh? Do you cry? I don't know what you do in that situation, but I think it was a little bit embarrassing for poor old Gat, and it pretty much summed up the innings, didn't it?
Oh, poor old Mike Gatting. What can you say?
Well done, boys. Well stuck today. Debbie, Vicky, Jarve, well done. Sauls, wherever you are. Dermot is a top effort fielding. Gat, thanks for turning up.
Thanks, Skip.
I've got that with my legs to move. You've got to have them glasses on.
What happened to Mr. Gatting today?
Well, Mr. Gatting went out for about half an hour.
15 minutes.
The ball looped up, and Mr. Gatting continued to go and drop the ball. Do you go that
After declaring on a massive 560 for 6, India's spinners got to work.
Very close indeed, and out. Robin Smith is gone. Oh, that's different. And out. Graham Hick is gone. That's brilliantly taken and out.
By lunchtime on day 4, the game and the series were all but lost.
England are in all sorts of trouble here.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're in one of your more expensive moods today, Jeffrey.
I don't know what to say much, because this
Second in his performance, quite honestly, has been poor. I thought Hicks' shots was quite poor, straight after the break, come out, throwing the bat at the ball, cover driving, the ball wasn't there to drive. Neil Fairbrother played splendidly first innings, super innings. Then he tries to slog it up in the air. Blakey's shot was really poor. It's very immature indeed.
I've always had a really good relationship with Boyks, to be honest. Of course, he's very opinionated, is Jeff, and there's occasions when we've had a conversation and I don't think I've done any of the speaking whatsoever.
You have to pick the left better than you've been doing. You can't stay back because you're worried about getting back on padded. Neither can you play forward to anything because you're worried about staying back and getting a top spinner. You must pick the length.
He can be cutting, he can be blunt, but he is usually pretty right in what he says.
Jeffrey, I can see that you're really happy with life here today. Now go and get into your sari and do another spell of commentary for us.
I'm not thrilled at all, I can tell you.
There's Louis next in.
Waiting for his moment in the sun was Chris Lewis.
You had to find, I think, your way of making it work for you. Also something that helped, it was my birthday, and the night before I'd gone out to one of the hotels. They had nightclubs in hotels in India. I had a night out, dancing. I wasn't a drinker, as you know. But the next morning, I was feeling a little tired, but in a no-nonsense mood.
And that's beautifully struck.
So I went, if I see it and he pitches it anywhere near me, I'm going to whack it.
Through the gap, it's 4 runs.
I got to 95. And I just thought, if you try to get these in singles and you get out, you will be so upset. So I made a choice that, okay, keep going the way that you've gone.
And that's the way to do it. What a magnificent way to reach your first Test 100.
Here's Chris has just got to his 100.
That was a great moment for Louis because he'd come under a lot of pressure. So to be there with him when he smashed it for 6 was brilliant.
Louis made the game go into the last day with a magnificent 100.
As a young boy from the Caribbean, I grew up wanting to be Viv Richards.
He's in the corner saying a little prayer.
To have that one day in the sun in India where I felt like a Test batsman. And the score suggested I was a Test batsman. I'll take that one. I would have liked a few more. But to have done it once at least, I enjoyed it much.
That's a happy man. How'd you feel?
Yeah, great. Wonderful.
Great. But the problem is you can't really celebrate in India, can you?
Well, no. You know, it's my birthday. I've scored 100 for England and here all alone, you know.
So, you know, what would you like, really? What would you...
Wouldn't mind, you know, Shorty with me here, you know.
Shorty? Who's that?
Yeah.
What, just sort of there next to you? Well, I mean, it's your birthday. Wishes might come true, mate. Clap your hands and see what happens.
Okay. Half a go.
Well played! Thanks, man.
So what are you guys going to do now?
We need a drink, don't we, really, Luigi? Hey?
It'd be sad if you didn't.
It'd be very sad. What
do you fancy?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you seem to be the man of the day. What can you conjure up?
Well, let's have a clap and see what happens.
Okay, mate, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey! Oh, excellent! Yeah!
It was back to reality and back down to earth the following day.
Oh, and that's could be caught. Yes, that's it. And that is the end of the England innings and the end of their chances in this series. 2-0 to India, 1 to play in Bombay.
I suppose I'm not happy, but one should ask them, are they happy with what they produced?
The England team have been presented with a bike each. There are one or two who would say that after their performance they'd better get on their bikes and get it together.
This chap all of a sudden came along and said, as a little present, we're all going to give you a mountain bike to take home. I was driving around popping wheelies on my new mountain bike in front of all the crowds. Probably not the right time to try it out, to be fair. Probably not the right time.
Daydreamer. Daydreamer.
Defeat didn't dampen team spirit.
Daydreamer. Dreaming. Sleepwalking.
What's he pointing at?
Moonwalking. Creeping. Sleeping on the job. Calendar. He's in a coma. Man in a coma. I'm not going to get it. Second word is in. Second word. In sleep. Lay. Sleep. Dead. Sleeping. In wake. Bed. In bed. In bed. With Madonna.
The third test offered us an opportunity to avoid becoming the first England team to be whitewashed in India.
England have won the toss and they will bat. England bat.
My only appearance of the series did not have the desired effect.
Oh, there's going to be a run out here. Stewart, what is going on? They are standing at the same end. Who is going to go?
I was on strike. I've knocked it in the gap. I assume the non-striker would have been backing up a long way, being alert. Now you've got to rotate strike on these types of surfaces. So I've knocked it into the gap. Easy one. Gone yes. We've run. Sorry, singular. I ran. And all I then see is someone's back. And then there's a race to the non-striker's end, which, again, I may have won, but the umpire thought otherwise.
Sorry, Gaffer. By now, India's spinners had us under their spell.
Oh, he's gone. That turn found the edge of Gatting's bat. He was caught in no man's land, and England have lost their fourth wicket.
As soon as it turns, everybody goes, ooh, it's turning. It's a turning ball. Ooh, how difficult. What's the difference between turn, seam, and swing? Technique.
Right. Cheers, Jeff. How am I playing?
How's Robin playing? Needs to improve.
Graham Hick had certainly improved.
Beautifully struck by Hick.
Bloody Hick. I mean, what's he in the team for? He's off spin bowling. And scored a run. All right, he got 60 in the last innings. That was a bit of a fluke.
Yes, there it is.
Hick has got his 100. He punches the air.
Three little biscuits. Here all the England boys standing on their feet.
Very good feeling for him. First 100, first of many. Let's hope.
Oh, that's a beautiful stroke.
Graham Hick, he was an exciting player, wasn't he? And he was imposing at the crease, tall, strong. His bowling was a big feature on that trip. He was a brilliant fielder as well, and he showed all the ability and skill on that day.
Oh, that's a marvellous stroke down the ground. That's going away for four. No one's going to stop that. He hit that like a kicking horse.
You know what? I've always stuck with Hick. I've always had that faith in him because, all right, we've waited 2, 3, 4 years for Hick, but it's paid off. It's paid off.
Congratulations all round.
Top draw, Hickey. Top draw.
I remember that match. We all thought this is a turning wicket. We've got a chance in this game. I'm afraid not. They got a mammoth score, and it put our 3-4-7 into context, to be honest, and we went down again.
Anything Hickey could do, local boy Vinod Kambli could do better.
Bombay rises to one of their favourite sons as Vinod Kambli gets to 100.
I felt I was always a ball away from getting him out. I think with hindsight, that was probably more hope than anything else, because I don't think I got him out once.
With this ball, it could be his first double 100.
In just his third test, Kambli made 224.
For English conditions, this wicket is turning a lot, you know, and you fellas handle it so comfortably and confidently. Is that because, you know, from a young age you grow up and play on a lot of surfaces like this?
Yeah, like when we used to practice before in our school days, the wickets used to be somewhat like these wickets. So it wasn't that difficult for us.
And you had that big partnership yesterday.
That wasn't too big compared to other partnerships.
What's the biggest partnership you've ever had together at school level or anything?
The biggest is that It's a world record. It's 664 not out.
664.
Not out. Vinod Kamble got 349 not out and I got 329 not out.
A spinwash it was.
That's going to be out, and that's the end of the third Test match. Philip de Freitas is stumped by Kieran Morey. The victory that all India has been waiting for has finally taken place. It's just been a comprehensive spinwash.
Over the next 2 decades, Indian cricket would go from strength to strength. New legislation meant the balance of power had shifted decisively away from the state broadcaster Doordarshan, allowing the governing body, the BCCI, to monetise the game for the first time.
That's when India as an economy, cricket as a part of that economy, opened up extraordinarily, because suddenly sponsorship comes in, so you have Coke and Pepsi vying for business with a billion potential customers, so they're throwing many thousand million rupees at cricket in India, and suddenly you see the whole thing changing. The change has been huge and dramatic.
Here in the dressing room, we've got what every cricketer hates, packing their bags, and it's not much fun after you've lost.
Despite all the problems off the field and every defeat on it, the tour is remembered fondly by those involved.
Come on, Judgy, the plane's going, mate. Plane's going. Here we are, leaving India.
That tour stands out in everyone's mind, just for the craziness, the chaos. The whole sort of tour reminded me of looking at a tumble dryer, just tumbling around in front of your eyes.
It brought people together because it was tough on everyone.
The modern player would freak out, but it was great fun. It was a fantastic place to tour and a great experience.
What a body.
I can't remember one disagreement really, especially in the tour, that didn't go well from a cricketing point of view. Everybody seemed to take it in their stride.
Look back now and it built character. There's some great funny memories, but as my only tour, yeah, I'm disappointed that I didn't get another opportunity. But then you've kind of achieved what you set out as a young player to do, and no one can take the England caps away from you.
Here's the cat taking the kids on a conga.
As tough as it was and ridiculous as it probably looks now to anyone who's been to India or toured India as an England cricketer, they can't imagine what it must have been like back then. But then those trips, if you didn't laugh at it, then it'd drive yourself mad.
It was a brilliant experience and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Sky Sports Cricket. Feel it all.